This one, the one out of Houston that everyone's been talking about as of this weekend, that deadly concert and music festival. The New York Times reporting Astro World Festival. Organizers and city leaders knew that the crowd would be hard to control. All of these folks there to see the headliner, Travis Scott. Now, according to the paper, the police chief met with Scott, the festival planner, and they wanted to convey their concerns about the crowd before Scott went on stage, saying that honestly, there were some worries. Now, a lot of those worries actually ended up happening and were captured on video. We want to let you know that some of these scenes are very difficult to watch. Witnesses say that the crowd actually surged forward towards the stage, squeezing some fans so tightly they couldn't breathe, and many were brought to the ground. You can actually see some being carried through the crowd as they collapsed. At least 8 people were killed. Maybe as many as hundreds injured. And again, all there to watch Scott perform, 50,000 people in that audience. Now, the 8-time Grammy-nominated rapper founded Astro World and the Astro World Festival back in 2018. He's known for very high-energy performances, chaotic shows. But there has been some trouble with his performances in the past, as he has encouraged fans to, for example, bypass security or rush the stage. Our Michael Schur has been in Houston all weekend and is live this morning with the very latest. Michael?
Adrienne, good morning. Not a lot has changed in terms of the way they've investigated this over the past 48, maybe at this point, 60 hours since the concert. But what we did learn over the weekend is exactly what you're talking about. We've spoken to dozens of people that were at the concert, people all telling us, many of them saying that they felt the unease at about 2 o'clock in the afternoon when many people were storming the barricades to get in. Some of those we spoke to said that they wanted to stay back because they had an uneasy feeling about what was going to happen inside the concert. As you mentioned, there was precedent for this. In 2019 at Astro World, there were people that passed out and had a very difficult time getting out of the concert. There have been times at Travis Scott concerts in the past as well where he has egged on the crowd in 2015 and 2017. These are the items that the lawyers are kind of glomming onto now, saying that the promoters, Live Nation, should have known more about this, should have warned people, should have been better prepared for this. But the weekend was about mourning in Houston. So many people coming to a somber memorial, telling us exactly what happened while they were there and how they felt. We spoke to some of them over the weekend, of course, on camera, and we spoke to many of them off camera. Very poignant yesterday. A family of about 20 people came yesterday evening, gathered around some candles at the site of the of Astro World. They were all together praying, singing. They were the family of Brianna Rodriguez. She was just 16 years old, a high school student who lost her life there. We learned a little bit more about some of the other stories from Astro World.
On Friday, they came for the music. On Sunday, they came to mourn.
I had to pay my respects to those that we lost. Being in a giant crowd like that, happening it to innocent general public, it could have been any one of us.
Throughout the weekend, hundreds of concert goers brought flowers, candles, and cards, even as security guards tightened the chains on the now abandoned festival grounds. Outside locked gates, music lovers gathered, holding on to each other and memories of those lost.
So devastating, like people turning blue, bro, like, bro, I'm about to start crying, bro.
Adrienne, Houston police did not hold a press conference yesterday. They tweeted out that they are still investigating this in the very early stages. They will tell the media when they have developments. Some of the things they are looking into are why Travis Scott stayed on stage from 9:30 until 10:10. 9:30 is when those reports really came out. Around then, 40 minutes that they were on stage, and that's one of the most important parts of the investigation. Adrienne.
All right, thank you so much, Michael, and concert goers. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to click on the red subscribe button below so you can get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.